Jessica's holding her hands, and Fabian was her.
So they were cutting her arms off in the bedroom.
Then they put her other pieces in the bathtub.
Did he penetrate Victoria with his...
Yes.
Was your daughter saying anything?
Stop.
This is 35-year-old Michelle Martins, a mother of two whose spine-chilling revelations left the detectives and the entire state of Texas in complete shock.
You were in the room while she was being assaulted. What part did you take in that act?
As the interrogation starts, detectives realized that her seemingly normal house was actually the ultimate house of horrors. In this interrogation, detectives uncover a monster in disguise of a loving mother. A woman who betrayed her own daughter in the most horrific way. On the morning of August 24th, 2016, a worried neighbor's tip brought Texas police to this apartment, revealing a crime so shocking it would stay with them forever. When the police arrived at the scene, they saw smoke coming out of Michelle's apartment. Forcing their way in, they found a blanket in the bathtub, which was still smoldering in fumes. Upon opening it, they made a grim discovery. Inside were the dismembered limbs of a girl. In the living room, the police found a trash bag containing lungs.
How do you even process something this horrific? A mother, someone who's supposed to protect, stood by while her daughter's life was torn apart. Victoria was only 10, full of dreams, and her own home became a nightmare. The detectives, calm voices hide their shock, but you can feel it. This case isn't just a crime, it's a betrayal of everything a parent should be. What could drive someone to this?
Discover the dark secret of the seemingly ordinary family.
Hey, no, ma'am. I'm Corey. It's nice to meet you.
Josh is going to go back in and talk to Phoebe a little bit. So I just wanted to come back in so that way we can continue on going through. Okay. Maybe to make it a little bit easier, I just wanted to talk to you a little bit. Victoria's birthday was
Just
yesterday, right? Okay. And what were you guys gonna do for Victoria's birthday?
We were gonna celebrate it today.
Okay. What was did you guys have a
The
plan?
park above.
The part?
At the park above. It's up at Rio Rancho.
Okay. Okay.
Nice.
We guys just have friends and cake.
Mm.
Okay. How do you, does that make you, it's hard, huh? Okay. She was your baby.
I can't imagine my mother without her. Now I have to.
Why'd you name her Victoria?
I always said if I had a girl, I'd name her Victoria.
Okay. And she was 10, just turned 10? Yeah. What were some of her favorite things to do?
Color, math,
Math.
gymnastics.
Gymnastics. Okay. What did she do, like tumbling and gymnastics? Okay. Wow. You're gonna miss her.
Yeah.
Initially, Michelle tried to play the role of a grieving mother, but these seasoned detectives saw through her act. After all, she had allowed Fabian and Jessica to stay in her home, despite the clear danger they posed to her children.
I'm just worried about my son.
Well, and I want you to be able to be there for your son. Okay?
I'm worried about my life now, too.
Well, can you kind of tell me why you're worried?
Because now I'm afraid they're going to come back and kill me. I don't even want to stay home now.
Okay.
He went to go check on her. And that was the time she wasn't breathing. And that's when he told me. She's not breathing.
Of the three adults living in the apartment, each seems to have their own version of events that were vastly different from one another. Michelle claims she checked on Victoria twice and found that she had stopped breathing the second time, suggesting a possible drug poisoning. Jessica, however, had offered a completely different account, alleging that a mysterious man came looking for Fabian. When he couldn't find him, he went straight to Victoria's room and did those horrible things to her. Notably, the interrogations of both Fabian and Jessica were never disclosed to the media.
And what did you do?
I got up and, what do you mean she's not breathing? And then I looked on the table, but then noticed the bag was gone. I was like, Did she get a hold of that? And then like, she might have.
Okay.
I was like, what was the only thing there?
And where was the bag at?
The living room table.
Okay.
On the living room coffee table.
And did you ever see it after it went missing?
No.
No? Okay.
So then Jessica went to get the knife. And I asked her where she's going with that. She said we're gonna dispose of the body.
So let's back up just a little bit, okay? Because you're skipping around. So Fabian tells you she's not breathing. Did you go check on her?
He did.
Okay. And tell me about that. What did you see?
Just her laying there.
Okay.
I didn't know what to do. I didn't want to call the cops because then they probably would have stopped me from trying to do that.
Okay.
I didn't know what to do.
There's another reason that you didn't call the police, though, isn't there? Why didn't you call police?
Because there was drugs in the house.
Okay.
And I didn't want them to think it was mine because it's not.
Okay. And I understand. That I understand. Okay. I mean, there's drugs in the house. You don't want to get in trouble. Okay. So you check on your daughter. And what do you find?
She wasn't breathing when I went in there.
Okay. Was she dead?
She was.
Okay. I'm so sorry. I know that this is not your fault.
I feel like it is.
It's not.
That's how they want me to feel.
That is how they want you to feel. They want you to feel like you did this and it's your fault, but it's not.
At first,
Michelle's lies unravel so fast it's dizzying. She blames drugs, then Jessica, then Fabian, anyone but herself. But the truth slips out. She knew. She watched. The detective's patience is chilling. They're building a trap with every question. It's infuriating to hear her dodge accountability while Victoria's memory screams for justice. How could she call herself a mother?
Jessica, what happened with Jessica?
She was coming down the stairs with my daughter in a blanket.
Why was that?
I don't know.
You do know. So let's back up.
Just trying to get the times right because it's kind of getting a little confusing, do you know what I mean?
So let's back up to where you find her and she's dead on the bed. Okay? What happens from there? There's a conversation between you and Fabian and Jessica. What is that conversation?
I said if I tell anybody that I'm gonna be the next one,
Okay.
please threaten me.
And what did you guys decide to do with your daughter? With Victoria? Your baby girl. This is your 10-year-old baby girl, Victoria.
They put me in the bathtub.
Because you were there. And you saw. And you watched. So what was the discussion about what was going to be done with Victoria?
I knew they were gonna get rid of her, but I didn't know. I forgot this discussion.
You forgot the discussion.
I don't remember it.
Okay. What happened next?
They said that if I say anything, they just kept threatening me.
Okay.
That if I say anything, I'm gonna be the next one. Or I better not fall asleep. So then I just left.
So you left?
There was nothing else I could do. I didn't know what to do.
So from the time you find your daughter and she's dead, Victoria is dead in her room. Am I right? And then you leave. What happened in between that time?
And before that was the time I saw Jessica stabbing her in the stomach.
Okay.
And then with the pillow over it.
So explain the whole pillow over her head. What was that for?
Because it's a grip to hold her hands.
So was she already
Because she
dead?
was already.
Oh, okay. So you see her and can you kind of explain to me, she's holding her hands?
And Jessica's holding her hands, and Fabian was her.
So they were cutting her arms off in the bedroom.
Okay, and then put her in the bathtub.
Okay. When did they start cutting her leg off?
After her arm.
After her arm? Okay. So what you're saying is Jessica was holding her arms and Fabian was cutting? Okay. So Fabian had the knife at that point? Okay. But you said that Jessica stabbed her in the stomach? Okay. Why?
It's like they were taking turns at her.
Okay. And when you saw this, you didn't call 911 because you were afraid that the cops were going to know that there were drugs in the house?
And that they were going to kill me right there on the spot.
Okay.
Michelle's story is both graphic and full of contradictions. It was clear that it didn't align with the narrative of a helpless mother she was trying to portray. But the female detective successfully sees through it. She holds Michelle's hands to show her support and empathize, a strategy only to turn Michelle's cries into confessions later.
At what time does Jessica carry your daughter down the stairs? Is this before or after they cut her up?
After.
So she was already cut up?
No, that's when they put her in the bathtub. It was before. Before they cut her, because then they put her other pieces in the bathtub.
So she carried her downstairs to you guys when you guys were in the car before they cut her up?
Mm-hmm.
Barry Ramo, who conducted the autopsy, provided statements that sharply contradicted Michelle's account.
The whole thing is beyond anyone's conception that this could happen, especially to a little 10-year-old child. This is horrible, but it appears that she died from... There was evidence of sexual abuse, both in terms of trauma as well as the fact that she had an infection that she'd had for some time and evidence of the HPV infection.
The contents of the report were enough to make anyone sick, even causing the doctor to flinch at the sight. Despite Michelle's claims, no meth was found in Victoria's system. Instead, the autopsy revealed something even more unsettling: the presence of an unknown male DNA, raising more questions about what truly happened. In the next clip, the sickening reality of what truly happened to Victoria that day comes to light. The revelations were so disturbing that even the detectives were unprepared for it.
Is his DNA going to be on Victoria?
I hope not.
So, like,
from holding.
Like if I grabbed Corey, my DNA is going to...
No.
But you said they were holding her to cut her.
But Jessica was holding her arms.
So he never touched her, he just only held a knife, or what?
Mm-hmm.
What about when they put her in the trash bag? You said they both lifted her up and put her in the trash bag.
The pieces.
Well, that's still Victoria. Whether it's an arm or it's a leg, it's still your daughter. It's still Victoria. So, is his DNA going to be on her arm or on her leg if he picked up the pieces and put them in this bag?
Yes.
Yes.
So at any point, did you hold Victoria's limbs while they cut her?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Did you at any time use a knife or any other object to help dismember Victoria?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Did you touch her or move her or anything while she was in the bathtub?
No.
Did you assist with putting her in the trash bag?
No.
So at no point after she died, when Fabian came out and said she wasn't breathing, did you go touch her?
I had touched her stomach to see if her stomach was going up and down. And I was checking her pulse.
Okay.
And that was the last time I touched her.
Okay. So after that, did you ever have any physical contact with the body of your daughter?
I didn't even get to tell her I love her.
After Victoria passed away, and it must have been just absolutely so difficult. before you went and made dinner, after you guys had, or after Fabian and Jessica cut her up, when did you and Fabian have, so that way I can make sure that we have the correct story? One question, and it's a very serious question, okay? Who was raping your daughter? Who was assaulting your daughter?
She's 6 years.
Who was sexually assaulting your daughter, Michelle? Because you knew about it.
That was my ex-boyfriend.
That was your ex-boyfriend?
Yes. And that's why I got rid of him.
What's his name?
David Hernandez.
Is he assaulting your son as well?
Not that I know of.
Michelle.
Because my son is barely with me. He's mostly with his
Michelle.
father.
Was he assaulting your son as well?
I don't know.
When did
What,
Fabian...
what, time out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the, to be frank, what the does not really know me when it comes to child. Was he assaulting your son or not?
No.
Okay, that was the most, out of all the answers you've given me, that was the most deceptive answer you've given me all day. You need to, this isn't the time that, you're not in trouble for it. We gotta know what's going on.
Mhm.
Was he assaulting your son as well?
No.
When did you find out that Fabian and Jessica were active with your daughter? When did you find out? And be honest.
Not too long ago.
Not too long ago. Okay.
Because if I would have known that, I would have totally get out.
So, how much were they giving her so that way they could assault her?
Maybe quite a few.
They gave it to her quite a few times.
How would they give it to her?
You just put it in her mouth.
Okay.
Like that.
How did she die last night? While she was being assaulted, how did she die? It's not what killed her.
Probably contributed it to it. We know for a fact that this is not what killed her. How did she die, Michelle?
I don't know.
Okay, let's go back. When did you find out that Fabian was having sex with your daughter, with Victoria? How long ago?
Just recently.
Just recently?
What is recently?
Like
How many days?
days, weeks,
Days.
days?
Like a couple days.
Like a couple of days, like 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days?
2.
2 days. Okay. And when did you find out that Jessica was also assaulting your daughter? Were they doing this together?
Yes.
Okay.
It's heartbreaking to imagine the horrors Victoria endured with no one to lean on, no one to protect her. The very adults who should have cared for her instead tortured and assaulted her. But the most shocking betrayal came from her own mother. Michelle wasn't just a bystander, she was complicit in the abuse, even finding pleasure in her daughter's suffering. How could a mother become the very monster her child needed protection from? To call her a mother would be an injustice to Victoria and the very meaning of the word.
How did you find out about it? Did you walk in on it? It's okay, but I need to know. Did you walk in on it?
Yeah.
Okay.
They were both on it.
They were both on your daughter? Okay. So 2 days ago you find out that they're your daughter. Am I right? Okay. So how would they do it?
While I'm at work.
You were in the room while she was being assaulted. You were there. Did you participate?
No.
Did you watch?
No.
You just watched? You were there. When your daughter was being assaulted, you were there. Where were you?
Mm-hmm.
You were in the bedroom. In your bedroom or your daughter's bedroom?
What's my
Okay, and where were Fabian and Jessica?
until I thought they were having a cigarette, but they weren't.
What were they doing?
No. You watched them give them her, and you knew what they were gonna do. Don't play. Let's not start playing games now, girl. They weren't having a cigarette. You knew they were your daughter. Where were they? Your daughter. What room?
In her room.
Okay.
How did you participate? I don't think that you assaulted your daughter. Did you help hold her down? And I appreciate you being honest about what Jessica and Fabian have done. Okay. But the only thing that you're not being honest about is your involvement. Okay. So, when Jessica and Fabian were in the room assaulting your daughter, what part did you take in that act?
I let him do it.
You let them do it?
Were you having intercourse with Fabian or Jessica while they had sex with your daughter?
No.
Did you have sex with Fabian right after he had sex with your daughter?
Yes.
Did Fabian put his in your daughter's or in any other part of her body? Her mouth or her...
Not that I could see.
What was he doing to her? I need to know.
He was like going on top of her.
With what?
With his on top.
Did he put his in your daughter?
Not inside, no.
Was he rubbing it in the lips of her?
Yeah.
So it
That's
penetrated.
basically it.
So it penetrated the lips of her. Was he completely naked or was he clothed?
He had his shorts down with his shirt off.
And what was Jessica doing to your daughter?
She was holding her.
How?
Her arms and her shoulders. So, and her feet. Baby was holding her feet.
What were you holding? What were you holding? Be honest.
I'm being honest.
So you just watched. Yeah. You just watched. But you didn't help hold her down.
No.
Did you, while they were doing this, did you have any physical contact with Jessica or Fabian or your daughter of any sort?
No.
Did Fabian on or inside your daughter?
On top of her stomach.
Was your daughter saying anything?
Stop.
The acts committed were so heinous that it would leave anyone speechless. What depths of cruelty did they go to, and why? It's hard to fathom that Victoria was Michelle's biological child, the child she carried for 9 months only to give her a terrible fate. And tragically enough, that was still not the end of it. There are much more disturbing statements that Michelle is about to make.
What was Jessica saying?
Just shut up.
What was Fabian saying?
He wasn't really saying much. He was just...
And you just stood there and watched? You just let them do this to your daughter?
I'm speechless. Michelle didn't just fail Victoria, she enabled her torture. Knowing her daughter was assaulted, she stood there, then went to make tacos. It's beyond comprehension. The detective's anger mirrors ours, but their restraint is masterful. This isn't just a crime. It's a moral collapse. Victoria deserved a protector, not a monster.
Michelle used a dating app called Plenty of Fish to garner clients who did unspeakable things to Victoria. She also met David Hernandez there, and later Fabian Gonzalez. But it wasn't only Victoria who fell prey to them. There was another victim who suffered at their hands, Michelle's son, Matthew. The boy mostly lived with his biological father, but on the days he lived with Michelle, he too had to face the same atrocities that Victoria had faced while she lived.
When did you find out that Fabian and Jessica were assaulting your son?
I didn't know they were assaulting my son.
We are not going... Okay. We know that there's been full contact on your son. We've been doing a lot of stuff since you guys called 911 last night. Okay. One of those things is interviewing your son and making sure that he's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then what I need to know is who is assaulting your son. Be honest.
I always thought it was his father because he'd always watch in front of him and everything. And every time he would come home from his house, he would touch Victoria inappropriately. And I'd ask him where he'd get that from.
Mm-hmm.
And he would tell me, well, Daddy watches naked girls.
Michelle, you have been bringing men to your apartment to use your daughter and sexually assault your daughter. This is not the first time that this has happened. This is not the first time that your daughter has been assaulted. I'm just going to use the word because that's what it is. You were allowing men to come over and have sex with your daughter, and in turn also having sex with you. Help me understand that.
What'd you get out of it? Is it a turn on for you?
No,
Then help.
because I would never do that to my daughter.
But you did last night. And the only reason that we're sitting here today, Michelle, is that it went a little further than it ever has before. This time she died. You weren't ready for the type of animals that these people were, and it went further than you anticipated. But let's start with this. How many times that what happened last night, minus her dying, how many times have you watched or that you know that Fabian and Jessica have had sex with your daughter since they've been in your house? How many times?
3 times.
I think it's probably more than that.
That you watched?
That I know about.
How many times did you watch?
There was only that one.
How many times did you watch? Be honest.
Michelle, we know you watched. How many times did you watch? Every time?
Mostly.
So does it turn you on when Fabian has sex with you after? Is that what it is? That I'm just trying to understand.
It doesn't.
But you have sex with them immediately after, right?
I don't know why.
Okay.
Did David come into your house and have sex with your daughter while you watched?
No.
That wasn't a very honest answer. I'm going to ask you again. Did David come into your house and have sex with your daughter while you watched?
Yeah.
How many times?
Twice.
How many other men have come into your house and had sex with your daughter while you watched? I need to know. Like I said, Victoria is dead. The only...
How's your burger? Pretty good? All right, go find your bag.
So Michelle, at this point, you're under arrest for a homicide of a child. A slew of whole other charges that I probably couldn't even list here if I wanted to. And if you need me to explain that to you, then there's no hope for it because everything we talked about, the fact that you're shocked you're going to jail is beyond me.
The detective did an exceptional job of catching Michelle off guard. From holding her hand to reassure her that she believed her story, to casually asking how she enjoyed the burger, the female detective skillfully navigated the interrogation, gaining her trust and also the opportunity to strike when her guard is down. After that, Michelle Martins was taken into custody, because it was not impossible for this woman to walk free after what she did. The entire interrogation was filled with vile revelations of how a mother of all people could have such fantasies of watching her own children getting assaulted and killed. On June 19, 2018, Michelle Martins avoided a first-degree murder charge by taking a plea deal. She pleaded guilty to reckless child abuse resulting in death and tampering with evidence. In what many saw as an infuriatingly lenient sentence, Michelle received 12 years in prison. The public outcry was immense. Some even pointed out how the judicial system failed a 10-year-old. Fabian Gonzalez, Michelle's boyfriend, also struck a plea deal, admitting to reckless child abuse resulting in death and tampering with evidence. He was sentenced to 37.5 years in prison, a term that reflected his direct involvement in the events surrounding Victoria's death. Jessica Kelly, the cousin of Fabian Gonzalez and the one believed to have dealt the fatal blow, faced the harshest punishment. She pleaded guilty to second-degree murder,
12 years.
child abuse resulting
That's all
in
Michelle
death,
got for
and
destroying
tampering with
Victoria's
evidence.
life. The system failed her. 37 years for Fabian, 44 for Jessica, but it's not enough. Victoria's smile, her love for gymnastics, her light, it's all gone. We can't bring her back, but we can demand better. How do we protect kids when the predator is their own parent?
Is murder. But there's still one person who hasn't been caught yet. It's that apparent mystery man who not only killed Victoria, but also her. The search for him is still ongoing. Where there are mothers like Marianne Bachmeyer, who killed the man who assaulted her daughter, there are also those like Michelle Martins, whose actions destroy the light and joy of innocent lives. Victoria was only 10, but was full of hope and love. Her smile was enough to brighten up the room she walked into. Her teachers and classmates loved and cherished her. They would live on to mourn her loss. The world was too harsh for an angel like her. As we conclude the case, we're left with heartaches and anger. Every child deserves a parent, but does every parent deserve a child? How have we, as a society, failed to protect children like Victoria? Unfortunately, Victoria is not the only one who went through this, and there are many who are going through the same fate. Most of these cases don't even make it to the news. In the end, the question remains, how can we step up as adults to ensure their safety? Stay cautious, because sometimes the predator is closer to home than you can imagine. Share your thoughts below on this case, and for more